Simula pa lamang, kayo ang naging magulang.
Sa aking bawat hakbang, turo nyo'y tamang daan.
Sa aking mga pagsubok, kayo'y laging tumutok.
Kayo na ang laging kapay, hanggang sa magtagumpay.
Salamat, salamat, salamat sa RPN. Hindi malilimutan, gintong alaala ng ating pagsasama.
The filing of certificates of candidacy is over, but critics of the government have so far failed to agree on a single standard bearer to defeat whoever will be the administration party's bet. Who will be the true opposition? Or more correctly, how many will there be? Or maybe we should ask, will there be one? This is Politics as Usual. Good evening, I'm Pia Ontiveros. Welcome to your weekly political appointment fix. Our guests, the spokesmen of 3 of the 4 opposition bets in no particular order. Former Congressman Morico Puentevella, political advisor to Senator Manny Pacquiao. He's joining us live via Zoom. Former party list Congressman Ashley Asedillo, speaking for Senator Ping Lacson and the Center's party, of which he's chair, Partido Reforma. Ashley is here in the studio with us, but we're 5-7 meters apart, very safe. Of course, we're only limiting to one guest per for every show in the studio. Lito Banayo, Mr. Lito Banayo, for Isko Moreno, the one-term mayor of the City of Manila, chair of Acción Democrático, joining us also live via Zoom. And I would have also introduced Attorney Barry Gutierrez, spokesperson for Vice President Leni Robredo, but Barry declined to come on the show, saying pass, and we couldn't get anyone else in the VP's office, including, among others, former Senator Bam Aquino, campaign manager for the Vice President, because they all declined. And all 3 of my guests, Lito Banayo, Morico Puentevella, and Ashley Asedillo, will try to tell us what's going to happen between now and November 15, D-Day, the last day that substitution can happen. But before we go to that discussion, just to illustrate what's going on, to do like parang a virtual tabletop exercise, we have here on the board the President, Vice President, 2 columns, and we're just going to put up these people on the board. So Ping Lacson, of course, running for president here. His running mate, Tito Soto. Isko Moreno, running for president. His running mate, Doc Willie Ong. Manny Pacquiao, running for president. And Lito Atienza, his running mate. And of course, VP Leni Robredo, even if she has no representative here tonight, and her running mate, Kiko Pangilinan. Here on the board also, just in case, no, because there is that possibility, Sara Duterte could be running for VP or president. We don't know yet, but she has said that she's going to run for mayor of Davao for a 3rd term. Let's see what happens. Her father, Digong Rodrigo Duterte, is still here on the board. Bato de la Rosa, of course, running for president so far, the standard bearer of PDP Laban. Bongo, running for vice president, so let's put him here in the VP column. And Bongbong Marcos, running for president. All right, so let's go to our guests tonight, and I wanted to begin with this, a main question for everybody, and I wanted to know which one of your principals is going to be the opposition candidate. And of course, we are presupposing that isa lang ang pipiliin. Let's see, no? So let's begin with Ashley Asedillo. Is it going to be your principal? Is it going to be Ping Lacson, who will be the opposition candidate?
Well, Pia, to be fair to the other candidates, no, my principal, Senator Lacson, has always been an independent, and he will continue to do so even if he's running for president. And he has never claimed to be a member of the opposition, nor will he claim just for purposes of running for president. So he will continue to, well, for lack of a term, no, people will call it a middle ground or a 3rd force, but suffice it to say, he will continue to be the independent candidate that he has been.
Middle ground, since. 3rd force, and that was a
yeah.
term that we used back in the 98 elections, you know. But it's a little bit more in tune with the opposition, no? And that's why, you know, ginugrupo kayong apat di ba, as the opposition candidate. So what are you saying? So whether or not there is an agreement among the four, Ping Lacson will run for president. Doesn't matter what happens.
Well, as far as Senator Lacson and Senator Soto are concerned, these unification talks are over. He wrote fini to that discussion already after the second failed meeting with the camp of the Vice President.
Ito yung second failed meeting, yung meron daw siyang, may hand gesture daw si Frank Drilon. Ganun ba yun?
That's
correct. That's the
correct.
one.
Although I cannot comment on that meeting because I wasn't there, so I'm not privy really to what happened. But I'm sticking by the statement of Senator Lacson on what really happened and what he thought was, were these ongoing discussions all about.
All right. Let's go to Lito Banayo, who's representing Mayor Isko Moreno or Yorme. Sir Lito, is Isko Moreno going to be the opposition candidate, or, like Ashley was saying, whatever happens, Isko is going to run for president?
Well, unang-una, Pia, ang problema na sa ating political system. Wala talagang defined political parties, whether you're administration or opposition. That is the flaw in the 1987 Constitution. No? Kanya, over the years, we've had so many candidates running for president. There was a time, 8 yata, 7, ngayon parang 6, I don't know. No? Kasi nga, hindi defined, hindi pareho ng sa ibang bansa na merong Republican, Democrat, so kung sino yung party in power, opposition yung kabila. So at the end of the day, what we have are candidates who represent themselves as political personalities and their advocacies, which may neither be opposition or administration. Mapuna na lang siyempre yung administration itself na dapat nilang depensahan yung patakaran o yung policies ng present administration. But everybody else have their own advocacies, have their own platforms, and have their own political personalities heading the pack, whether as president or vice president.
Yeah. So that inherent flaw that, unfortunately, or fortunately for many different political personalities, we never have ever corrected, Sir Lito. How is that going to play into the decision of Isko Moreno? In other words, no matter what happens dito sa unity talks na to, whether tapos na siya or ongoing or may pag-asa pa dahil may November 15 pa tayo, tatakbo pa rin siya talagang para sa pagka-presidente, no matter what happens.
Yes, no matter what happens, Isko Moreno will run for president and so will Doc Willie Ong as his vice president.
All right, let's go first to Monico Puentevella. Sir, your principal, Manny Pacquiao, is he going to be the opposition candidate, or as Ashley Asadillo here and Lito Banayo also on Zoom said, tuloy pa rin ang kandidatura ni Manny Pacquiao no matter what happens in talks, whether or not they're failed or are still going on?
Thank you very much, Pia, at mayong gabi sa tanan. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The senator has always been bent on running, and he has even said that anything can happen until November 15, but he has always maintained that he will run for president. Even before, for the last 2 years, he has been preparing for this. However, like a good gentleman, we have been talking also with the other candidates, because Senator Pacquiao has always wanted to have a unifying opposition, a united opposition. And anything, we still have a month to go, but the senator will run for president, come what may, because he knows what he wants, and he has always been prepared for this. So we'd like to thank his supporters, first of all, for having confidence and trust in Senator Pacquiao.
Okay, well, so if these three gentlemen, Manny Pacquiao, Ping Lacson, and Isko Moreno are going to run for president, and everybody says, and then let's say Lenny Robredo also decides to run for president, na ituloy na rin niya yung kanyang kandidatura, everybody's saying that mahahati lang talaga ang boto ng opposition. And if if there is the possibility of a Bongbong Marcos and a Sara Duterte tandem, whether Bongbong for president and Sara for VP, or baliktarin natin yon, they're saying none of you stand a chance against BBM Sara. If it is BBM or Bongbong Marcos and Sara, maraming magagalit if you say BBM, we should call him the Bongbong Marcos. So, paano po yun? What's going to happen now, Ashley?
Yeah, I think we have always believed that a strong campaign, it doesn't matter who runs against your candidate. And not only that, we believe that we are not only a strong, that we only don't have a strong tandem, we also have we're running a smart campaign, which means that it shouldn't matter who Senator Lacson and Senator Soto are running against, but at the same time, we're also open to making calibrations or adjustments as we go along. As we said, the landscape is not yet fully formed, precisely because there are still going to be potential realignments or potential candidates even by the time November 15 rolls into town. So, yun, we believe that it should not matter. However, we are, of course, open to adjustments depending on what the final lineup of candidates will be for president and vice president. Okay,
we're going to have to go to a break, but before we do, I have a question for Lito Banayo, who, like I said, is representing Isko Moreno. And by the way, Sir Lito, this is your second time to guest. You're a regular on the show already. But I wanted to ask you about this. What's going on in your camp? Because Florin quits, Cesar leaves, Cabayan withdraws, and Samira melts behind Isko Moreno on stage. We're going to get more insights from the spokesman of 3 presidential aspirants. After a quick break, this is Politics as Usual. Be right back. Welcome back. Still with us, spokesman of 3 opposition bets, Monico Puentevella speaking for Senator Manny Pacquiao, Ashley Asedillo for Senator Ping Lacson, and Lito Banayo for Isko Moreno. Sir Lito Banayo, can you respond to that question very briefly, and then let's talk about the BBM Sara, Sara BBM tandem, possible tandem. Lito Banayo, sir.
Well, si Cesar Chavez was the chief of staff of the mayor of the city of Manila. No, pagkatapos, he was offered a very good job as, I think, vice president of Manila Broadcasting Corporation. No, so, syempre, hindi naman para harangan yung career growth ng tao. No? So, nung nagpaalam siya kay Mayor Isko, kaharap din naman ako nung nag-usap na gano'n. So, sinabi namin, good luck. It's a good career move, no?
Okay.
Yun lang kay Cabayan, he had personal reasons which he divulged only to Mayor Isko. So, I'm not privy to what personal reasons those are, but we respect his withdrawal from the senatorial race, but not his withdrawal as membership of Action Democratico.
Okay, all right. Well, of course, in spite of the fact that you give all those explanations, alam niyo naman po talaga dito sa Pilipinas, ang politika, ang daming intrigero at intrigera. So, hindi namamatay ang intriga. But anyway, briefly also, Sir Lito, what's going to happen if we do have a BBM Sara or Sara BBM candidacy, everybody's saying, you're all, wala na, tapos na kayo lahat.
Well, para sa amin, bahala na sila, no? Kung gusto nilang magsama, gusto nilang kumandidato si BBM, o gusto kumandidato ni Sara Duterte, no? That's their privilege and that's their right, no? Kung gusto ni Ferdinand Marcos Jr., well, he's already a candidate for president, yes. Okay lang, no? So, laban-laban na lamang.
Yeah, okay. Matira matibay.
Yep.
Alright. And I'm sure ganun din ang sasabihin ni Sir Monico. Hindi po ba? Bahala sila kung gusto nilang tumakbo. Ganun.
Pia and gentlemen, when Senator Pacquiao filed his candidacy, he already knows what to expect. He knows the direction, and he has decided to run for it. You know, no matter who are running, it does not matter because he is running on his strength, on his platform. He knows what he wants to do, and if elected, he knows where to go and what to do. So he doesn't really care who is going to run or, against him, or whether this candidate or that candidate will go in a tandem. You know, it's we will really know by November 15 at the midnight, and whatever happens, Senator Pacquiao is already ready. He will run on his own strength, and he knows where he's going. So no matter what, whoever it is, mukhang ready na si Senator Pacquiao. Pia.
I love how you three gentlemen answered the question, because you're saying, no, wala naman kaming pakialam dyan, bahala na sila, bahala na kayo dyan, parang ganon. And then si Sir Monico, not even mentioning the name, but it's interesting, this whole issue about the name, BBM, Bongbong Marcos, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., after all, he is his father's namesake and junior. Anyway, a lot of people are saying, one bearing, I don't know, proof or, proof perhaps that you really should be together, pero siguro hanggang ngayon hindi pa talaga tinadhana. Yung mga senatorial candidates ninyo, para bang you're choosing from the same pool? Para bang pinag-aagawan nyo? Or, of course, a nice way of putting it is guest candidate, So can you address that issue na magkakapareho lang naman yung mga kandidato nyo sa Senado, Ano yun? Di ba, Ashley?
Yeah. First of all, we'd like to clarify that the tandem of Senator Lacson and Senator Soto potentially will be putting together the largest alliance or coalition. So we're talking about Partido Reforma, NUP, and the Nationalist People's Coalition, led respectively by Senators Lacson, Secretary Puno, and Senator Soto. Now, most of the discussions with the members of the slate happen on a one-to-one basis. And we really don't know who they talk to after we've spoken to them. And we're actually not mindful of who they've spoken to, because prior to the filing, nothing was final. And even after the filing, nothing was still final, precisely because, decisions have to be made also at the party level, even from within our own coalition or alliance. So we're talking about 3 entities that need to sort out things from within their own parties. So eventually, kaya nagkakaroon ng ganyan. Kasi eventually, after 2 of our principals spoken to these senatorial candidates, they also will be going to the other parties. And we understand that because they're trying to increase their chances of winning. And but we're just happy that so far we have the most solid slate, And in fact, we have a slate of 14 senatorial candidates.
So solid, it went over 12.
Yeah, you could say that.
Sir Lito Banayo?
Iba ang aming pananaw dyan, Pia, with all due respect to the other candidates, Kami kasi, kanino ka entablado titindig? You're neither here nor there, Okay. We understand the dynamics, na ang mga senador na either re-electionist o balik senador na syempre on their own merit, regardless of whether they are supporting or not supporting any presidential candidate, mananalo sila o llamado sila sa labanan. But we would rather have a group of senators na naniniwala sa aming paninindigan, titindig sa aming entablado at susuportahan ng aming Pangulo at Vice President. Hindi yung okay lang ito, okay dito, okay doon, To us, To us that ayaw namin ng ganon, Hindi pareho nung nangyari noong 2016. Halimbawa, si Grace po had 12 candidates for senator, pero nung nakikita nilang lamang na si Duterte, yung mga iba niyang kasamahang senador, mapuwera siguro si Isko Moreno, iniwan na siya. Nagpunta na sa kung kani-kaninong entablado. Hindi yata tama yung ganong klaseng kultura sa politika.
Okay, but right now you have how many senatorial candidates? 2 or 3?
We have 3. We have 3. Samira Gutok, Carl Balita, and Jopet Sison.
And that's it? Or what's going to happen?
We are considering a few more. Just a few more.
Ano yun, sir? Guest candidates from the other? No.
no, not guest candidates, no? We'd rather have yung talagang amin. Regardless of whether sikat sila o hindi sila sikat, no?
Okay.
Ganun ang aming paninindigan.
And ang pagpipilian nyo yung mga hindi pa napili ng ibang mga slates, ng ibang mga
Not necessarily,
candidates.
not necessarily. For all you know, merong mga nandoon sa slate ng ibang kandidato, pero sa tingin nila, mas gusto nila sumama kay Isko kaysa dun sa unang nang hikayat sa kanila. Dun sa possibilities.
Wow, intriga yan. See, who are you referring to, Sir Lito?
No names, please.
No names. Well, how many? How many are we talking about? And from which camp? Is it from Manny Pacquiao? O nagre-react na si Sir Monico? Is it from Phils?
Ano mo, Pia, hindi importante yung 12. Hindi importante yung 12, 14, 15 yung senatorial candidates, no? Kasi ang boto ng tao sa senador, hiwalay sa boto niya sa presidente at vice-presidente. In the same way, na yung boto sa isang governor o city mayor, kursunada niya yon, miski na dynasty yung mayor na yon, pero pagdating sa presidente, vice-presidente, may sarili siyang kursunadang binoboto. I've learned that through several presidential campaigns.
Okay. Sir Monico, what about you? What do you think?
With all due respect to our other friends tonight on your show, Pia, you know, our group of Senator Pacquiao with Vito Atienza as Vice President, you can call our group may pinagsamahan. You see, si Senator Pacquiao has been blessed to be in Congress for some time and also in the Senate. So yung mga kaibigan niya, close to him, that he has befriended all through these years, ang sinama namin. And, you know, I have to also say that if you talk about diversity or diverse company, kami ang bigla na binigay namin ang lineup even with Nery Colmenares. While the other groups are still deciding and arguing and debating, kami kinuha namin kagad ang isang labor leader at of course ang ating kagalang-galang Congressman Nery Colmenares na pinag-arguhan doon sa ibang partido. You see, manotice mo maski pag-filing, ang unang nag-file kagad is Senator Pacquiao. And that is designed to some people, some analysts, of being decisive, which is a factor for leaders. You know, are you decided right away or hanggang November 15 ka pa magsasubstitute or are you going to file up to the last October 8 filing or decided ka na? That's why to some people, analysts, the leadership factor would be decisiveness. Are you decided? Laban ka ba? Or you know, ganun. So kung decided ka, laban. That is one trait of a good leader. No matter what, decided ka ba? Laban. Oh, don't look at your enemies or your opponents or your other adversaries. If you've decided and you think you can do good for the Filipino people, go ahead. File.
Okay.
That's why the tandem of Lito Atienza and Senator Pacquiao are good because they both have been in Senate. They are in Congress for a while.
Yeah, pampagulo talaga yung substitution. You know, we only have a minute left. I wasn't able to go to a break anymore. The discussion was so interesting. So the final question, and you're going to have to put everything in here. Laban talaga. Will not that one. No? Will you ever get together, or you just want to keep the entire country in suspended animation until November 15? And what is your fearless forecast for November 15? Let's begin first with Sir Monico Puentevilla. Sir.
I would like to put the televiewers, our good audience, to think of this. Sa Mindanao, 14.5 million voters. That is the turf of Sara and Senator Pacquiao. In the Visayas, another 14.5 million voters, a total of about 29 million or 30. Pacquiao is the only genuine Visaya from Cebu and from Jensan. So you can already analyze why Pacquiao is hell-bent on running. Sa Luzon, you have about 30 million voters. Pag-awayan yan ng 5 o 6. If Sara runs, that will be 6 who will fight it over in Luzon. Kung 5 lang, sila. So, you have to analyze that. That's why Pacquiao is really determined to run because he has already studied. And you have to understand, with all due respect to the watchers, 5 million voters are A and B, Section A and B of our population. CDE is 60 million people. That is where we are prioritizing. Aside from, everywhere we're going to ask for vote. But yan ang facts of the case.
Okay, nag-overtime na tayo sa laban. Sir Lito Banayo, your brief final word, sir.
Ang labanan dito ay mensahe. It is the message of the candidate, no? Hindi ko na pag-uusapan yung kung taga saan si Isko, alam ng lahat, mayor siya ng Manila, ang tatay niya galing sa Antique, mahirap na sakada ang ama, ang ina naman niya, labandera na galing sa Waray, sa Samar. Pero hindi yun ang importante. Ang importante, lumalaban siya at lumalaban ang kanyang mga kasama, katulad ni Dr. Willie Ong, sa pananaw na meron silang mga solusyon para sa mga problema ng ating bansa at ng tao. Mga solusyon na napakita naman ni Mayor Isko sa Manila sa loob lamang ng 2 taong singkad. At yung mga pinakita niya sa Maynila, kaya namang i-replicate, kayang i-escalate towards the entire nation in order to help our people in this time of the most extreme crisis that we have had since World War II. So it is the message. It is how we're going to present our platform. It is how credible our candidates are in being able to tell our people that they will implement this if they are given the trust of the people.
All right, thank you, Sir Lito Banayo. Ashley Asedillo?
Yeah, PS, to your point kanina, well, it was never an intention of the Senator Soto and Senator Lacson to keep the nation in suspense, no? As early as July, they've made known their plans of running together as a tandem. And in fact, they were the first to declare in September that they were running for president and for vice president. They've always told our people, they've been very clear that sila ang merong kakayanan, karanasan at katapatan. And this is important in the kind of problems that the next president will be facing come 2022. And we believe in our campaign that between them, and they have 83 years in public service between them, they offer the best alternative and the best option for our people moving forward.
All right, well, let's see what happens on or by